What kind of marriage do you want? A happy marriage with healthy children or an unhappy marriage with sick children? You choose. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Okore. I'm your favorite medical tankraya. So today, we'll be considering premarital screening. Marriage is a beautiful thing. However, before you say I do to the love of your life, hello, there are relevant medical investigations that you ought to do, and we call them premarital screening tests. The premarital screening tests include genotype testing, blood group, talking about rhesus factor in the blood group. We talk about virology, which comprises of HIV screening, hepatitis B and C screening, amongst others. At least these are the most important premarital screening tests that you ought to do. So we'll take them one after the other and talk about it briefly. The genotype is the genetic makeup of an individual. Yes, it is what makes you, you. That's the genotype, okay? Humans have 4 different kinds of genotype. We have the AA genotype, the AC genotype, the AS genotype, and the SS genotype. The genotype refers to the hemoglobin gene constitution on the red blood cell. That means it finds its expression on the red blood cell. And that is why we are worried that you must make the right choice, that you and your partner must be genetically compatible before you say I do. Unfortunately, a lot of people would have said I do before they will discover that, we are not compatible. And then before you know, you have a child who has sickle cell disease, and that can even break the marriage. AC genotype is pretty rare. It's not very common, but it's still there. So we have the commonest among which are the AA genotype, the AS genotype, and the SS genotype. Now, during reproduction, when the partners meet, they contribute a genotype each. So if you are AA, if your genotype is AA, you can contribute either one of the A's or the other A. I hope you understand what I mean by that. If your genotype is B, if your genotype is AS, you can contribute either an S or an A genotype. Now, you have to know that gene contribution is a randomized process. Many of you will go to the textbook and you will see where it is written, if AA joins with AA, with AS, you will have AA here, AS here, AS here, and then you now have what else? What is that? You now have SS. It doesn't follow that way. It is randomized. That means it can happen in any way. Now, for those who are AA genotype, bravo! But don't be so proud. Yes, AA genotype, they are universally compatible. That means for those of you who are AA, you can marry whoever you want to marry. Now bring your shoulder down. If you are AS, if your genotype is AS, you have tough choices to make in marriage, except if you don't want to have any children. But if you are AS, you must not marry anyone who is AS or SS. That means for those of you who are whose genotype is AS, you must only marry AA. And the reason is that if you mistakenly or deliberately marry another person whose genotype is AS, you might have a child who is SS. That's talking about sickle cell. And that brings a lot of problem in the marriage, okay? For some people, they may not even be able to withstand the heat of taking care of a child who is SS. The marriage can even end there. So it's important that you know this before you say I do. Genotype testing is very important. Maybe in some other videos, we will take time to talk about sickle cell disease. the effect of sickle cell disease on the individual and in the family. But for today, you ought to know that if you are SS, if your genotype is SS, you have no business marrying someone whose genotype is also SS. Please don't be selfish, because when trouble comes, all the people that gathered that were telling you, say yes, say yes, say yes, they will not be there. Yes, they will not. Those guys that will say, say yes, say yes, say yes, they will not be there. So this is not a matter of say yes, say yes, say yes. If you are AS, you cannot marry any other person who is not AA, whose genotype is not AA. I hope you get that. Thank you. Before we continue, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscription button and turn on your notifications so that you'll be notified whenever we make a new video. And please do well to drop your comments and feedback. We'll respond to every one of it. Thank you. Let's go on. The second premarital screen that we're talking about is the blood group. So we have the ABO blood group system, blood grouping system. That means we have the blood group A, we have the blood group B, we have the blood group AB and O. If you have ever done your blood group test, you realize that there is always a negative or a positive sign attached to the blood group. Now, that is very important in what we are talking about. That is what is called rhesus factor. Okay, I will not bore you with what rhesus factor is, but you ought to know what rhesus compatibility or incompatibility is. If your blood group is whatever it is, whether A positive or negative, B positive or negative, whatever it is, if your blood group have a negative sign attached to it as a woman, and your husband's blood group has a positive sign attached to it, that means both of you are rhesus incompatible. I repeat, if as a woman your blood group have a negative sign attached to it, that's a negative connotation, and your husband's blood group or your spouse's blood group has a positive connotation, both of you are rhesus incompatible. Which one is, can you marry? Yes, you can marry. Hello? Yes, you can marry even if you are rhesus incompatible. However, you ought to know what we call rhesus incompatibility or rhesus isoimmunization. That simply means that your newborn will be in some form of risk. However, the risk can be taken care of. Just by knowing that you are rhesus incompatible, there are medications, there is an injection that you can take after each pregnancy, okay? If you take the injection, it will prevent you from being sensitized, and that will protect the subsequent pregnancies or your unborn children. It will protect them. That means for those who are rhesus incompatible, you ought to go to a health facility that will offer you the best of care by giving you those injections that you need, that will make you not to be sensitized following every pregnancy, regardless of the outcome of the pregnancy. That means if you are pregnant, okay, and you had miscarriage, you must take the injection. If you are pregnant and you deliver, you must take the injection. Once you are pregnant, you ought to take the injection. Maybe in some other videos as well, we will talk more, okay, on rhesus incompatibility or the effect of the rhesus factor. We go over to the next one. The next premarital screening that we'll be talking about is the virology. It simply means viral screening. So top among them, we have the HIV screening. You remember the slogan? A is not a show for face. You know, they show for face. All right. So ideally, before you even get physical with anybody, you must have done HIV screening. Yes, because the bad thing about HIV screening is that it doesn't have a cure right now. Though there are medications you can take, but there is no cure. So except if you don't mind, but you must, as a matter of fact, do HIV screening to know if you or your partner is HIV positive. And some of you will say, God forbid. It doesn't solve the problem. God forbid does not solve the problem. All right, ignorance is not an excuse, and this video has removed your ignorance. So do HIV screening before you say I do, and before you start having intimate moments with your partner. It will save you from a lot of problems, because there are a lot of people that carried HIV from their partner simply because they did not do premarital screening to ascertain if they themselves or their partners were positive. Okay, you can give it to someone, another person can give it to you, so you have to be screened. Good. The next virology test that we're talking about will be hepatitis B and C screening. For hepatitis B, people are scared of HIV. They're like, HIV, but come on, hepatitis B is as dangerous as HIV, just that it has not gained the popularity that HIV has gained among us. So, but the good news is hepatitis B can be prevented. There are drugs, you can be immunized against it. You can receive some form of injection, okay, so that you will have immunity against hepatitis B. And again, if you find out that you are hepatitis B positive, or your partner is hepatitis B positive, okay, you can take the drug to protect yourself. Your partner can take the drug to protect themselves as well. Also, knowing that you are hepatitis B positive, you can follow up on it easily. You can go to the hospital, they will screen you, they will give you some drugs that will protect your liver and all that. We are not here to talk about hepatitis. However, it is important that you do hepatitis B screening test. So, question is, if I am hepatitis B positive and my partner is negative, can we still marry? Yes, you can. But do well to go see a doctor in the hospital who will guide you accordingly. All right, both hepatitis B and C, they are relevant screening tests that you ought to do before saying I do. So we draw the curtain here today, but before we do, remember the premarital screening test which every partner ought to do. We have the genotype screening test, your blood group to determine your rhesus factor on account of rhesus incompatibility or compatibility. All right, we have the virology screening test, which involve HIV, hepatitis B, and hepatitis C. There are some other tests that can be done, but these are the most important at the moment. Okay, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please, I urge you to subscribe to the channel, and please turn on your notifications so that whenever we drop a video, you will be duly notified. And please do well to share our videos and invite others to follow us. Let's build this channel together. Thank you very much.